Welcome to the Packard Approved Podcast, the most mediocre fantasy football podcast you'll ever find. My name is Packard, and I'm your host. Today, I'm alongside a co-host. We have Chris. Chris, what is going on?
What's going on, Pac-Man? We're here. We're live. Let's do it.
We're so live that it's Thursday at 5:30. Hopefully, this video hits at 7:30, right before the Packers go on the air, and I will probably be heartbroken just like I was last year. So,
Well, that's sad, but I mean, you couldn't be as heartbroken as I am.
it is true. To be fair, before we get into this, it was the second quarter of Week 1, Sunday Night Football, and Aaron Rodgers was taken out in a cart after being out all the previous year. I never felt such devastation. And then they came back from a 20-0 deficit and beat the Chicago Bears.
Well, there you go.
So we didn't make the playoffs.
Let's not have
but I had a good first week. It was ups and downs.
You're right. So let's just have a victory repeat without the injury.
Yes, no injury scare, please. My heart can't take it anymore. All right, I'm engaged. I have a new job. I can't take any more stress. All right.
Good thing you're not a Giants fan.
Oh my God, it's the worst.
It's terrible.
That being said, you do have more Super Bowls than we do. Eli Manning has 2. Aaron Rodgers has 1. Anyways, draft season is now over. Fantasy football has officially begun. If you haven't got your drafts done yet, you have like 2.5 hours. So get that shit going.
Who waits last minute to do that?
I don't know. This past week I had 3 drafts, and I was at this point, as much as I love drafting, I was like, not another one, please, for the love of God. I can't take it anymore. So draft season over. Let's go through yours first. How many leagues are you in? Which team you like the most? We'll go with that first, and then we'll get more into like your sleepers and all that stuff first. But up first,
Right.
How many leagues you're in, and which team you like the most, and why?
Well, I've only got the 2 leagues, which are both run by you, the War Room and the Packard Palace.
Heyo.
Right now I'm really feeling my my War Room team.
Okay.
Only because I did so well last year, and then I'm kind of hoping to repeat that progress of doing well. But as the draft stats that you put up showed, I am a solid B in both those leagues at an 81%. So,
well, at least you're
hoping.
consistent. Nonetheless, you're in the middle of the pack, right where you. I mean, it could be worse. You could have been like a 50.
You're right.
So.
Which that's absolutely god awful.
Yep. So you can tell with both your teams. You like both your teams. They're doing pretty well. Like how they.
I do. I think you got to get through those first initial weeks and kind of go from there. I noticed that on one team I literally have 4 Kansas City Chiefs players, and I really wasn't expecting to do that. And at first it was only 3, and then McCoy left the Bills, or the Bills let go of McCoy, and then who picks him up but the Chiefs? And I'm like, great, now I have 4 Chiefs players.
Of all teams.
Of all teams, I have 4 Kansas City players, and just in one of my leagues.
Yeah, because I think in the Palace, I think you went. Did you go? Was it Tyreek Hill? And then there was one league where I thought like you went back-to-back Chiefs, and then someone took like Patrick Mahomes, and you're like, why would you do that? I was like, oh, that's why. It had to be the Palace because I have Travis Kelce in the War Room League, so that means in the Palace, I think you went Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and then you clearly was ready to go for Patrick Mahomes.
I wasn't planning on trying to go for Patrick Mahomes because why would I try to draft a quarterback so dang early?
Because you have the 3 best people on the most craziest offense ever that lost no weapons. So I have no problem with it.
But then later on, I got Sammy Watkins. And then when we got so low into the draft, I was like, oh, there's McCoy. I really didn't want to pick up McCoy because you made that comment in the last podcast that
you always draft LeSean McCoy.
Right. And I was like, I'm not going to get him. And then there he is. I was like, I might as well just take him.
To be fair,
he's a Chiefs player now.
LeSean McCoy on the Bills is a terrible, terrible pick. Don't do that. I knew like he was going to be. And ever since he spoiled Endgame, like I was like, this dude is doomed. He's in trouble. And
he's in trouble.
Yeah, he's in trouble. And Devin Singletary, I think his name is. I really liked him. He's one of my sleepers. And I was more about drafting him over LeSean McCoy because I figured by the end of the season, Singletary will get more touches and McCoy will he'll be injured or something happened. So I was big on him. Then as soon as all the drafts are done, he goes from goddamn piece of shit Buffalo Bills worst place ever to the leading Super Bowl contender with Andy Reid once again. Those two are magicians when it comes to Andy Reid and running backs. I was like, God damn it! Now this is such a good pick, and before it was such a joke pick.
And it's funny now because, like you say that, I bowl on Tuesday nights, and a lot of the guys I bowl with were talking about their fantasy drafts. And
you didn't even know McCoy was on the Chiefs.
I didn't until that night.
You texted me like, when did McCoy join the Chiefs? I was like, wow, man.
And here's the point of this, because they were talking about just their fantasy teams, and then the fact that McCoy was picked up by the Chiefs, and obviously the guys I bowl with, the majority of them are born and raised in Kansas and in Missouri, so they're Chiefs fans. Mm-hmm. So they're like, do you realize how great he's going to be of a weapon for us? And I was like, wait, what?
You're like, wait, when did we get ice cream?
I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, so maybe my last minute, I'll just take McCoy to have a bench spot in case I need a running back is now, hey, look, I took McCoy because I'm probably going to be using him.
And this is why, to backtrack to, you mentioned the previous podcast, and this is why I say take kickers last, and in the mid, 9 to 13 rounds, you take flyers, because, one, you never know how they're going to turn out, and two, you never know if someone you draft who's like a third-string running back also gets traded somewhere and they're gold. So, Sean McCoy is a huge case this year. His ADP was probably 140-something, which means 14th round, and all of a sudden, people are like, oh, he might be the starting running back. Who knows? He's definitely going to have his hand in the cookie jar, so to speak, but...
Right, but they'll definitely keep their eye on him, especially like you said with Andy Reid.
Oh yeah,
they'll work their magic. And that's in my Palace team.
Yep.
That I have all them. But back to the Coliseum team. I mean, my one big weapon is obviously going to be Barkley.
Yep.
And then I got George Kittle as well. So
yeah, that's right. Those are your two keepers.
Yeah, so those are my two. I guess big names to really look out for. I've got Cam Newton, so
that's fair.
We'll see how he plays out, because last year I think I was kind of disappointed in how he played.
Well, he had that huge big injury, he couldn't throw more than 5 yards. So
right,
and I don't think he was running.
If he's healthy, I'm expecting a big thing. As much as I don't like his arrogance, he's definitely
his arrogance is
awesome.
One thing. I cannot stand his fashion. He needs to stop. I mean, you should do whatever you want, but what the hell, Cam Newton?
He goes with that Nick Cannon look.
Every Sunday,
Nick Cannon on TV.
You're gonna have your memes of everything, and then there's always gonna be a meme about what Cam Newton showed up to the stadium looking like. What? Is that Miss Daisy over there? I'm like, what?
What is that?
But I I didn't even look at anyone's teams, but your starting lineup, especially for 14 people? I can't keep track anymore. 14-person PPR league, your lineup's pretty solid.
Right.
I'm not a fan of Tyler Lockett, but in a PPR league, he could be pretty good. He's your typical boom or bust character. He'll get you 5 points, and then next week all of a sudden 24. D.D. Westbrook in your flex, he's one of he wasn't one of my sleepers, but as preseason went on, and then there's reports that he has good chemistry with Nick Foles. I was like, well, he's the number 1, and the Jaguars, no one's going to think about them. They're a run-first team, but especially in a bigger league, for a flex, that's pretty solid, and it's PPR, so.
Right, and I'm definitely, well, I know you say that the first week's projections are basically vanilla.
Yeah, you just flip a coin.
Or whatever, but I am almost 30 points projected ahead of the person I'm playing against.
Oh, really?
I'm projected 123. They're projected 97. So, I mean,
that's because you're playing Trevor, and one of his keepers is AJ Green, so now he's down a wide receiver.
Oh, right, okay. So I'm sure that'll back up.
But he's got Trubisky going tonight, so who knows?
True.
So that's that. But before we get into it, I told you right before we started recording the podcast, the perfect analogy when it comes to me and you for fantasy football is like a mobile game. And there's two types of people. There's a pay to win, and there's a free to play. And when it comes to fantasy football, you bring the free to play aspect to it. You come in, you draft your team, and that's it. You make very few waiver wires or purchases, if you want to say, and then there's someone like me who makes more changes in one day, and then I change stocks an entire week.
So, are you planning to, only keep one or two of your original roster? Or are you hoping to keep more than that?
Is it the Palace League? In the Palace League, I've already dropped my starting tight end, and replaced them with a new one before the season even started. I'm already leading the board with one transaction, so that's great.
Great.
But this year, I have 2, 4, 6. I have 8 teams pulled up. I'm in 11 teams altogether. I run 3 of them. I have no idea who's on any of these teams.
Great, because at this point you were probably just blinded by, okay, let me just get this
usually I'm way more attention, but now like that I have like a job where I can't be on my phone all the time. I don't have like time to like really figure out what I have. I know a lot of leagues I have Ezekiel Elliott, and that gamble paid off.
Yes.
As I'm sure at least you know, he signed a huge contract and he's with the Cowboys until he's 47 years old, and Jerry Jones is literally rolling in his grave. So that one paid off really good. Also in those leagues, I did pick up Tony Pollard too, which a lot of people take Elliott, but they didn't take Pollard, or a lot of people took Melvin Gordon, but wouldn't take Austin Eckler, which as much as I'm not a fan of handcuffs, like, those two need to be tied together because eventually Elliott and Gordon are going to play in some aspect.
Right.
My other gamble, which is in the Palace League, and my first round draft pick in the War Room League, and then did I take him in any of my Yahoo leagues? Jovina's, I did not. And my $300 league, I also did not. I took Antonio Brown, which I don't know if you saw. Pretty much made a post yesterday about how the Raiders were planning on fining him for being a child, and then,
yes,
the GM came back and was like, "All right, well, if I'm a child, then you're suspended." So he's possibly going to be suspended for this week.
Which is silly. Like, why?
It is more disappointing than the entire season of Hard Knocks this year. Like, I don't know if you watch any of that, but I was really amped. Hard Knocks is one of the greatest shows I will ever watch if you like NFL. And it's like, all right, they got Hard Knocks, they got the Raiders, which is the most drama-filled Kardashian thing going on in the NFL right now. And then it was boring. Like, you had so many different things, and it was just John Gruden knocking on wood, saying, "Knock on wood if you could hear me," and then Antonio Brown's feet problem. I was like, where's the fun stuff? And now, so I drafted Antonio Brown for like the first time ever. Like, Antonio Brown's 32, so he's been in the league for almost 10 years, and it's the first year I get him, and now he might not even play on Monday night.
Yeah, he might not even play in the first week. Right.
And I'm like, what?
Jeez.
And it's Monday night, so the dude's gonna ball out. Dude loves being on the lights.
Right. Well, actually was the first person eliminated in the Masked Singer last. So.
Well, had I known that.
If you ever watch The Masked Singer, the concept of it's super cool, and the show actually
Is that where they wear the helmets and like you don't know who's singing?
Yeah, they're in different costumes.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So he was the first person to go home in the first episode, and like the panel before they reveal who they are have to guess who they think it is. So like someone like on the panel thought it might have been OBJ or whatever. So like just by his personality or whatever, and then it turned out to be Antonio Brown. And you're like, oh well, that sucks. You were literally the first person eliminated. But yeah, so that doesn't surprise me. Hey, it's the first week you called me a child, so you're gonna sit.
Yep. So that's kind of boning me. I mean, otherwise, like most of my starting lineups are pretty good. I draft majority for like season's end. So like I have Austin Eckler in a few leagues who I will probably be starting. Melvin Gordon is currently sitting out. There was trade talks, I think. The Eagles offered Jordan Howard and possibly a pick straight up for Melvin Gordon, but nothing's turned into that yet. So I tend to happen like the first few years where like Bell would be suspended for the first 4 games for the Steelers, and then I would draft who was it? It was like D'Angelo Williams. Like he would be starting for the first 4 weeks, and I would draft him and then never use him. And then the first 4 weeks, each game would put up 16 standard points. I'm like, why do I draft these people to use for the first 4 weeks and then not use them? So I'm trying to get more into that. So like Austin Eckler, I'm like, all right, as long, even though it's like he's in a timeshare, quote unquote, like, so he'll be splitting shares with Justin Jackson, I believe. Like I should still use him because like I have a bad habit of doing it. I don't know why. It's frustrating.
Because remember, you're the pay to win. So
I am the pay to win. So yes, I paid extra for this extra round. I did. I literally paid $23 at Dave and Buster's to get the #1 pick, and I took Ezekiel Elliott.
That's it. That's your new nickname now. You're not just the commish. You're pay to win.
I'm pay to win. I am P2P. The Palace, I had a game plan and it went to shit real quick. And then I panicked. So in the war room, or in the Palace rather, I took Elliott, and then like Antonio Brown and Mike Evans both dropped to like picks 24 and 25, and I'm like, do I want either of these? No, but they're available, so let's do it.
I'll take them, right?
Yeah. And then it's like my running back, who you probably don't even know, is David Montgomery, who's the rookie from the Chicago Bears. Is my running back too, and usually I'm always running back heavy. Like I was like, oh, I get Elliott, Gurley will probably drop later, and then I could get Gurley, and then let's say Patrick Mahomes. So I got Zeke Elliott, Gurley, that's crazy, and then Patrick Mahomes. So like right there, each week is 50 points, and then I did not get them, and now Antonio Brown might not play. So that's cool. And then I panicked even more because I was like, oh, let's take a quarterback. So there's Deshaun Watson and Aaron Rodgers both on the board, and for whatever reason, I don't know why I took Watson over Aaron Rodgers. And then I'm not sure if you know the curse of the Debs, but usually whoever Deb takes in the first round in the Palace League, something terrible happens to them.
Yes.
Every year it happens to him. So if you remember Jamal Charles when he tore his ACL, Deb's team. Jordan Nelson was then traded, or he was released by the Packers the following year. Torn ACL 2 years before that. Eddie Lacy got fat and then went to Seattle. So whoever Deb takes the first round, always injured. Granted, this is probably the third or fourth round, but I took Deshaun Watson. As you can probably guess, could you imagine, or can you take a guess at who Deb drafted 4 picks after me in the 4th round?
Not Aaron Rodgers.
It was Aaron Rodgers. And all I could think of was, why?
Why do you hate me?
Why must you take Aaron Rodgers, Deb? And like we've always said, I was like, Deb, take Tom Brady the first round for the greater good of the entire population of America. Take Tom Brady and let's put this theory to the test. And she won't do it.
She didn't do it. Instead,
and now he's going to keep winning Super Bowls because Deb can't make the sacrifice that's needed for the greater good.
Deb, you let us down.
Yeah.
You let us down, Deb. You Thanos us all.
When I die, I want Deb to be the only carrier of my casket, so she can let me down one more time.
One more time.
So that's. I mean, so I'm in other leagues. We have 3 leagues that I run. Chris DeFreitas, who's in our league, he needed to fill in the spot. His league is kind of cool, and I kind of hate it. There's a defensive player, which I don't understand the purpose of having a defensive person. I don't think anyone in standard regular leagues know more than 10 defensive people that's out there. But he has something unique. So he has limits to the amount of positions you could have. So what that means is you could only have 4 running backs on your roster.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Limitation.
I hate it.
Okay.
Because
especially when someone like you are running back heavy.
Yes.
So that's why you hate that.
Yeah, in like the late rounds, that's where I pick up all my scraps. I'm like Frank Reynolds from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I was like, I'm here to pick up my scraps. I'm the Mantis. So like I have 3 starting running backs, and then I picked up Marlon Mack, and then I was like, oh, I could get Justice Hill. Like all these names are, by the way, all like my sleepers. We had Justice Hill from the Ravens. We have Kareem Hunt that everyone slept on. We had Geis from the Redskins, Chris Thompson from the Redskins. And I was like, why can't I draft all these people? And then it dawned on me, I can only carry 4 wide receivers and 4 running backs. It's like my bench, like I have a backup defense and a backup quarterback, and I don't like that.
Well, see, but that's different. The thing, like guys like me do.
Yeah. Plus, I get it, because then on the waiver wire, there's more people available.
Right.
It's like if I go to waiver wire right now, where the flip is it players, add players. It's like you got Jordan. We all got running backs, even though you're not gonna know these. Like Rashard Penny, Jordan Howard, Kareem Hunt's out there, Deus Lewis, Ronald Jones, one of my sleepers. Even though I was like, oh, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers running back situation is terrible. I was like, yes, I grant you that. But do you know who their head coach is? Bruce Arians. Do you know who's amazing at figuring out how to use the run game? Bruce Arians. So one of those guys could be the main guy. But it changes it. So like if I want to drop a running back or add one, I have to drop someone. So it gets real. It's a real chess match. But
yes, yeah,
I don't like it. But that's because it's out of my normal, so I got to think differently.
right. So you got to adapt to it just to, make it more comfortable for you, I guess.
It's whatever. But all those are on ESPN. I have 2 Yahoo leagues, and I don't know if you see my snaps. But I'm going to continue to get cease and desist letters from Yahoo. But Yahoo Fantasy Football is run by a bunch of drunk, dumbass fraternity people that have no idea what the fuck they are doing. Because how dare you, Yahoo? You're worse than J.K. Rowling when she killed off my boy Cedric Diggory from book number 4, and then Hufflepuff was irrelevant for the remaining.
Hufflepuff is always irrelevant.
All right, we had one guy. All right, one, and he was done after the first 4 books.
Oh, well, and he wasn't even introduced until the 3rd one.
Yeah, so we had one book. Hey, here's the Starks in episode 4. Ned Stark is dead in episode 9, and that's the last we talk of the Starks. They're off getting high in the woods. No?
Yeah. But Cedric Diggory wasn't even important when they first introduced him in the 3rd one, because all he was it was in the Quidditch match when Harry fell off his broom because of the Dementors, and Hufflepuff won that match because Diggory was the seeker. That's all you mentioned to Cedric Diggory. And then the 4th one, we're like, oh yeah, here's this cool guy. And then we're like, now we're just...
Who should have won the cup, and he lost the cup and got killed because stupid-ass Harry Potter's got to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
No, he could have taken the cup and he would have died regardless because it wouldn't have been Harry who ended up at the graveyard.
I'm going to give you the most controversial take ever. Yahoo Fantasy Football rankings are the Harry Potter of the Harry Potter universe. They have no business being there, and people keep choosing him and think he's Mr. Popular, and he's the worst. He's the worst.
Anyway, but it's we'll talk that later after the podcast, but I did read something that you'd probably appreciate.
I will. But, so, Yahoo, they give your own draft report cards, and I appreciate their terms. Like, if I was to, like, it's almost like if something that I would wrote. So, like, selecting, I'll give you a draft summary of the league that I got in. So, this cost me $325 to get in. So, I'm sure you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So, they gave me a C score based off my team. I don't know how. I don't know why. But we had draft summary. Selecting the bottom half of the first round, number 7 overall, Baker of Chains can blame this unimpressive performance on their subpar draft position. With a projected record of 4-9, this team doesn't concern anyone. Behind multiple Packers in early rounds, Aaron Jones and Aaron Rodgers, Baker of Chains are predicted to finish 9th in this league.
Wow.
Suck my dick. Yahoo Fantasy Football.
Wow. That's awful.
Yep. My team isn't even that bad, so I don't understand what the problem is. Little different recap. So in ESPN, Todd Gurley is ADP 8th. He's projected 8th pick. Everyone's taking him 8th round. Would you like to know where Yahoo, the fantasy gods, the Harry Potters of the world, had Todd Gurley ranked in an ADP?
Sure.
32nd.
That's it. 32nd.
Even you think that's funny.
That is, yeah, yes.
Yahoo Fantasy Football has rats. So I had the 7th pick. My thought process was, all right, I'm going to take the best available at the time, and then the wraparound, I'll reach for Todd Gurley because he has no business going to the 3rd round in a 12-person league. Let's get him early. Or maybe let's get Tyreek Hill. You know, I mentioned with the Courtney podcast, I always want Tyreek Hill, and I'm not going to get him. It's going to be 12 years from now, and I'm just never going to get him. So I got DeAndre Hopkins, the 7th pick. It was him or Devontae Adams. I was like, yeah, for whatever reason, I keep going with Houston players instead of Packers players. I don't know why. I think I'm just burnt out, but whatever.
Well, you don't usually want to draft people on your team though, like
I don't.
Because then what's the point? Because if your actual team is playing like shit, your fantasy team is going to play like shit.
Mm-hmm. Yes, true. You want someone to root for. So take DeAndre Hopkins, 7th out of 12. Within those picks, both Todd Gurley and Tyreek Hill were all taken. I was like, of course they were. And as much as I was like, you know what, I should take, or not Todd Gurley, I'm sorry, Tyreek Hill and someone else that I might have wanted to win. But Todd Gurley, no, he was drafted, I'm sorry. He was drafted like 2 picks before me. I was like, all right, well, best available is Travis Kelce. I'll get the best tight end. And the way that this league is set up is it's expensive to get in, but like weeks, say, 1 and 7, whoever has the high scoring quarterback gets paid like $40. So like 2 weeks out of the year, whoever's the highest tight end on that selected week, say it's weeks 7 and 12, they get X amount of dollars. So if I have the best available tight end, I'm like, you know what? Let's take him. Why not? And then I was going to take Patrick Mahomes. I was like, all right, cool. Let's get Patrick Mahomes. Same theory. He's going to, 2 weeks that I need him to go off, he's going to go off. And they were taking like 2 picks from me. I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it was bad. I ended up with Rodgers. As the great reviews told you, we had Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones. This league also has 3 wide receivers that you start. So like it's an extra spot. Like how we have 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex.
Yeah.
This has a flex, tight end, 2 running backs, and 3 wide receivers.
Oh, snap.
And here's probably where Yahoo's like, you have no idea what you're going on. Because outside of DeAndre Hopkins, I'm going to name you these 2 wide receivers, and you tell me what teams they play for. We have Christian Kirk. Can you tell me what team he plays for or who his quarterback is?
No.
Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
To be fair, I do like him. He's one of my sleepers. I was drinking the Arizona Kool-Aid. Everyone's like, oh, it was terrible in preseason. I was like, all right, well, they're not going to show you their extended playbook in the preseason, so then week 2 you know how to beat the Arizona. And Arizona's they're going to have to air it out a lot. And usually rookies have a very good chemistry with a tight end because, like, if they get a panic, they have to dump it off. And a rookie, like, they have Larry Fitzgerald out there, but the dude's not getting any younger. Like, Larry Fitzgerald will ball with the best of them. But if you're looking for that deep pass and the guy that can run down the field, I like that. And my other starting wide receiver is Michael, is it Gallup?
He's a horse?
He could be a workhorse, but he's
not.
Does
he play for the Broncos?
I did not actually draft Seabiscuit. No, I drafted a real person.
Does he play for the Broncos because his name is Gallup?
Kind of close. You're in the right theory, I guess. But not the Broncos.
I don't know. It's not the Cowboys, is it?
It is America's team, quote unquote, the Dallas Cowboys.
That's gross. I threw up in my mouth.
That probably explains why. I think what happened is that you work for Yahoo, and you figured you're going to get me back and write this nasty review because I drafted a Cowboys receiver. That pick was gross. C. Final answer.
Yeah, but then again, I drafted Dak Prescott again.
You did. But then, so my bench, I feel like you won't appreciate this, but I feel like people that are in deeper leagues and stuff will appreciate it. So I took Aaron Rodgers, right? And then I took Lamar Jackson to be my bye week quarterback. And because I think Lamar Jackson with a decent matchup, as much as I don't advocate benching Aaron Rodgers at all,
right?
Like tonight, he's playing the Bears. Like, it could be great, or it could be, only a 16-point week. I'm not benching any studs week 1, but week 7, anything could happen. Plus, as much as I love Aaron Rodgers, it could be one move and all of a sudden he's out.
He's got that Greg Bird treatment. Yeah. So he makes one wrong move and he's out on another injury.
I took a value quarterback later, especially because it's a 12-person, a big-time money league. So it's either pick up Lamar Jackson now, or I'm starting Eli.
Oh.
Yeah.
God.
Exactly.
Okay.
My bench, a lot of these names you probably won't know, but we have Dante Dante Moncrief, who is the number 2 wide receiver for Pittsburgh Steelers. And if
Yep.
you haven't been paying attention, the number 2 wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers under Big Ben have done phenomenal.
Okay. Yep.
They started off with names like Mike Wallace before he became a number 1. Most recently, Juju Smith-Schuster. He was a number 2 for the longest time. Juju's
Yep.
now the number 1, so Dante has been bumped up to number 2. He has historically done terrible with the Colts, anything worth of value. He's actually only started in 10% of leagues, but I feel like as the season progresses, he'll move up, especially in a league where you have to start a minimum of 3 wide receivers. I needed someone, and I panicked, and I waited till late after that. I took DK Metcalf. Do you know who DK Metcalf is?
Is he Donkey Kong?
It might be. I don't know what DK stands for.
No, I mean, you know,
Maybe
he could
Don't
be.
Kick. Could be Donkey Kong. Could be Diddy Kong. Who knows? The dude is jacked.
Could be Dixie Kong.
It could be. The dude is straight jacked. He's a rookie for the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
To me, like him, and I also took the I don't know why I'm talking about just specifically my team, but it's my podcast, so here's what we're gonna do.
That's right.
I took him, and then the rookie wide receiver from New England Patriots, Neil Harry. Now Harry is, I believe he's out for 6 weeks. He's on the PUP list, so he'll be playing. But these two guys kind of remind me of, at least my theory is that it's Odell Beckham Jr. in his rookie year. I don't think Odell really shined till maybe week 4.
Yeah, it took him a few weeks.
Either he was injured or nothing was really clicking, and then all of a sudden you got to week 5 or 6, and if you didn't draft him, you were fighting for everyone on the waiver wire. So my thought process was all right, you know what? Russell Wilson needs someone to throw to. As much as Tyler Lockett is a boomer bust player, I don't think he's their number 1 person. On the depth chart, he's not the person to replace Doug Baldwin. He's more of your flyer. And I think Harry, I don't think Bill Belichick's ever taken a wide receiver in the first round. So the fact that they put that much capital into him, and you don't have anyone on the Patriots to stretch the field, this might be that. So I kind of drafted this bench for that league for the long run, if I could survive.
Right, if you could survive.
But most of those names were all my sleepers and people that I really wanted this year was Tyreek Hill and Ty Gurley, especially because Gurley's ADP was so low.
Right.
I feel and this is where it comes into the similarity, right? Is that the word I'm looking for? The comparison of the free to play and pay to play. Because I'm gonna ask you for your sleepers, and you're like, I didn't know. I
have no idea.
I have no idea. What's a sleeper? What?
Well, I mean, I don't know who a sleeper is, but I've got somebody on my roster I changed out actually to put Sammy Watkins in instead of him in my flex space, and the dude's name is Jerry Juice, Guice. He plays for the Redskins.
You got the Redskins?
I've never heard of him. Last year he got no points, and he's 9 points this week. And I'm like, who are you? I've never heard of you. Are you a sleeper?
Yes, kind of. So technically, there's different ways to look at a sleeper. Pretty much, a sleeper is anyone that generally you're going to be able to get after round 7 or 8.
Okay.
And sleeper is take James Conner for instance from last year. James Conner was the running back for the Steelers, and he was going in probably around average the 9th to 10th round.
Okay.
And as you probably know, he is now predicted in the first round going into this season. So it's like buying a sleeper is when you buy Apple stock back when Apple just started off, and you're buying Apple stock for 10 cents a share, and now by the end of the year, that stock that would cost you 10 cents, you can now sell for $20. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's someone you can get way later. 10, 11, 12 round, and all of a sudden, they're your RB number 1 or 2, or they're wide receiver number 1, or they're like Patrick Mahomes last year. I think he was QB 20, and then obviously we all know he was the number 1 in everything.
Yeah.
So that's what a sleeper is.
Fucking beast.
So Geist, back to your original question, he was a rookie last year for the Washington Redskins. It was supposed to be this great big thing, and then I believe he tore his ACL in maybe preseason 2, week 2 or 3, and then that's when the Redskins then signed Adrian Peterson, and then Peterson went off a little bit and stuff like that. So Geis is both him and Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook kind of had the similar thing, and you're probably like, who the hell is Dalvin Cook? He's I believe this is now his 3rd year in the league with the Minnesota Vikings. Same thing. His rookie year, injured, out for the year, and then everyone's like, "Oh, who is this person?" So that's who
Right.
he is. He's one of my sleepers. Washington Redskins have always figured out a really good run system. Um, they've always produced really good runners. It's just they only last 2 years, and then that's it. Um, to paint you a picture, RG3 came into the league 5, 6 years ago, I
Mm-hmm.
think, and do you let's play my favorite game of putting Shadow on the spot. Do you know who the lead running back is during the RG3 rookie season?
Well, let's see. For his rookie season, he was with the Redskins, right? It's
Yep,
quarterback, right?
that's correct.
Was it not with Pierre Garcon, right?
First of all, that's a wide receiver, but he was on the team.
Oh,
I appreciate that. You at least are the right
I know them.
aspect.
Look, the only reason I ever paid attention to the Redskins not only because there were the Giants' rivals, but because my ex-brother-in-law liked them.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I'm gonna say you the embarrassment. It was Alfred Morris, who put up probably 1,200 yards on the ground, double-digit touchdowns. I don't remember the exact stats. I know I had both RG3 and Alfred Morris led me to a championship that year. Um, and then Alfred Morris, I don't think he's rushed for 1,000 yards since then.
Oh, jeez.
And then
Wow.
they had someone, I don't remember his name, but almost every year they get 1,000 yard rusher, and then the next year they're somewhere else, and I don't get it. But
Right,
Geis
right.
is a big sleeper. I like him. Um, I think it's Jay Gruden. There's so many Grudens in this league now. I believe Jay Gruden. I could be wrong. The head coach over the Washington Redskins believe he's a three-down back, which means that dude is going to be on the field constantly all the time. Washington
Yeah.
Redskins like to run the ball. I'm not sure what his deal is with pass catching. I don't know if he's good or not. But they also
Right.
have.
Well, I was just reading it. It says that like they feel like that Juice can be first, second, or even third down back
Yep.
if needed. But he won't see a
Goal
lot
line.
of touches. It says until probably later in the season.
Yeah, so they're gonna.
I don't understand
So
why
that
they
might be
wouldn't.
why his ADP is so low because they might slowly transition him into more and more touches, which is why I brought up Cook earlier. So Cook came off the ACL tear, and then he came back, and then he was good, and then all of a sudden he was injured again. And that's usually what happens is if you go in too soon, you get re-injured, and then you're out for the next amount of weeks. So teams are starting a slower approach. So that could be it. But he's a great pick. I really like him. That was definitely a solid pick. And
So
that's
it's good to keep him on the bench for now because, like it
I
says, it's
mean,
probably not
it
going to be.
depends. It depends on the matchup. You historically like to play projections, so his
Yeah.
projection isn't going to go up until. Usually, this is what happens. All right, someone's projected, like say, we have Dante Moncrief, who I mentioned earlier, who's projected 9 points. Not bad. That's about your average, for a wide receiver 3 or anything like that. Now, if Dante Moncrief spends the next 3 weeks putting up 15 points or more, week number 4 is going to be projected 16 points. So that projection doesn't go up until like ESPN and Yahoo sees that they're capable of doing it.
Okay. Yeah.
So like Aaron Rodgers projected 15 points for this week, right? If he puts up 30
Right.
this week, 30 the following week, and 30 week number 3 against Bears, Minnesota, and Denver, then week 4 versus Philadelphia, he's going to be projected 22. And same thing, if they're projected high, then all of a sudden they're doing terrible, they're projected low. So Geis's projection won't go up until they already see that he's got like a bit of a streak going, I guess you want to say.
Correct. Yeah. I mean that makes perfect sense. It's. I was excited because I saw for the preseason. Right. I know it's preseason; it doesn't really matter. So why even bring it up? But the Giants went 4-0, and I'm like, why can't we do this in regular season?
To
Like
be
I get
fair,
it now. All the teams aren't using their 1 and 2s or whatever, but it's like, what are you doing differently in preseason that you don't do in regular season? And then the sweetest victory of all is in the last matchup of their preseason was against the Patriots.
nice.
And I saw the score of the game right before bed, and I was like, "Hey Emma, do you think we're gonna win?" She's like, "No." And it was like 29 to like 26 or something. And I woke up the next morning, and the Giants won 31-29. And I was like, "Oh, look at that! We beat the Patriots." And it's funny because the Patriots would have been 4-0 too, but they were 3-1 in preseason, and that one will always belong to the New York Giants. Whether it's Super Bowls or preseason.
You got one. You got a win over the Patriots.
We always get that at least number
You got a win over
one.
Bill Belichick-owned running team. That's perfect because we're going to segue into the last bit, and I'm just going to touch that because you mentioned that, got this thought in my head, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah, man.
And you said you don't want to, like, you wish you go 4-0 like you did in the preseason. Why can't you do it in the regular season? Did you know that the Lions once went 4-0 in the preseason? Would you like
and
to
then didn't
guess?
Win?
Would you like to guess what their final regular season record was?
How many regular weeks are there? 15, right?
16. You have
16.
You play 16 games. They went 4-0 in the preseason.
3-13.
They went 0-16.
Tried to give them a little benefit of a doubt.
Nope. They went 4-0 and 0-16. So it's just like, oh, why can't I do this in preseason and the regular season? Because the preseason doesn't matter. Almost like fantasy football projections and ratings don't matter. You could draft the best team there is after the draft is done. You're like, oh, this team is great. And then week 1 comes out, and guess what? They're all duds. They're all Matthew Staffords of the world. They're all terrible, overpaid people.
No, they're all Andrew Luck. They're like, I'm sorry, I gave up. I quit.
Hey.
I'm sorry.
No, that's going to be the final thing. Because everyone's like, oh, Andrew Luck, he quit because he wasn't having any fun. You know, that guy's, what a piece of shit. But then they're all like, oh, Gronkowski was the greatest ever. He just couldn't do it anymore, but he retired. They retired for the same reason.
They're
it was the same reason. It blew my mind. I mean, most of it's probably like Patriot fans are like, not all Patriots fans, all right? Like the over the top, like annoying Patriot fans. They're like, we're the greatest ever. Yes, I understand. You won 6 Super Bowls. Tom Brady is the greatest ever. He is not the great. He is the most accomplished ever. Not the greatest quarterback. Most accomplished. All right, big difference. But everyone's like, oh, Gronk, he retired. He's at the top of the game. He's got nothing else to prove. The dude's injured left and right. You wouldn't want to do that. It's too much rehab. Then Andrew Luck, who literally retired for the same reason because he couldn't handle rehab anymore. That guy's like, oh, he's weak.
He's not weak.
2 + 2 = 4. 1 + 3 = 4. It's the same goddamn equation. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Like, I wouldn't, if I kept getting hurt and having to keep going through that rehab schedule, I'd be like, nah, man, it's not worth it anymore.
The dude had a ruptured spleen because his O-line couldn't protect him anymore. He's still going out there, and he's like, oh, dude's weak. No.
That's right.
The dude couldn't shave his beard anymore because his arms wouldn't move up and down anymore. And he still won Comeback Player of the Year.
It's like wanting to do placement matches in Overwatch and thinking that you should be winning because your team should be gold, and then you get no good winning matches. You're like, oh, well, I'm just going to not play this game anymore because it's not fun. Oh, no, it's because you suck. No, it's not because I suck. Because I'm sick of doing placement matches with a bunch of bitches.
I don't look forward to picking up my controller and then going 0-16. That's not fun. I don't want to do it. No, thank you. Take my controller, delete it off my PS4. Give me a new game.
Let's just play it on the Switch.
For real. Kids are terrible to Switch. I'll go play on Yahoo if I want to beat up on bad kids. All right. And with that, it's perfect timing because my food is ready. I appreciate you coming on at such short notice. Literally right before we started recording, I was like, hey, what are you doing? Nothing? Cool. Grab your headset. We got a podcast to record.
Not even a headset. Let me just hold my iPad in my hand.
You're like, screw it. I've been using my iPad, drinking, walking around the house like I'm a Dame Giants fan without a care in the world.
Yeah, I had to stop my dog from eating something he should have been eating. It was a good time.
Typical. All right, well, I thank you for coming on. This has been fun as always. Man. We're going to try to get this on a regular schedule. And
before we end this, though,
yes?
on one note, Anthony, if you're listening, bud, I know as Packard said that projections don't mean shit, but I'm projected to beat your ass week 1. Bring it, son!
Oh, shit, the gauntlet's been thrown down. Someone called 911. We're going to need an ambulance, and it's going to be me having a heart attack when Aaron Rodgers gets injured. Don't get injured. Please don't get injured. No injuries, please.
Oh, God. I can't wait to watch football tonight. I'm so excited.
Football! Go check the post I put on Facebook. I posted all my Packers jerseys. Like, oh, my God, it's too many.
I saw that, and I was like, hey, you want to send number 21 to my house? I was going to say that because of my team name for the Palace.
I could, that's right. Haha, I don't know. I'm tired. I'm hungry.
Haha, suck my Clinton dicks.
And with that, we're out. See ya.
Peace!